Okay, I'm gonna give you guys an update. One of the first things I'd like to point out is that I didn't get to really see my Duncan coral opened up. I got a lot more new live rock, so the aquascape's slightly different. And my Xenia coral grown quite a bit in comparison to all the other corals I've had. My leather coral, I think it's hand leather coral. It's really hasn't been doing so well because it didn't really grow, but it's not dying either. Oh, and the glass is slightly covered in some algae, but snails have been doing okay job. My green star polyps though, right here, they haven't been doing so well. I don't know. They're just not growing that well. And my fish right here, he's doing actually pretty fine. He's pretty happy actually. Got the shrimp too. He molted again a second time. So that means he's doing really good. Which also made me wonder, when I saw molt, I didn't remove the molt from the tank. And I couldn't find it after. So I was just wondering if he might have ate it. If you guys know the answer to that, that'd be nice to know. I have my Kenya tree coral here. It's been growing pretty decently. Let's see if you can see them. There's these little tiny guys that are on the glass. They're like little snail-shaped feather duster guys. Like that. There's these little guys right here. I've also noticed they've hitchhiked into my tank. And also my snail has a lot of these tiny little feather duster guys on here. I don't actually know what they are, but I'm just gonna call them little feather duster guys because they look like that. The snail is covered in them. I don't think they're bad for it, but if they are, just let me know. Because they look like they're doing fine. And they don't seem to cause any problems. Also have one on the glass right here. So it's basically two types. I have like ones that are like snail shell shaped and others that are just straight tubes. Zinnias, like, I understand that people complain about zinnias, but as you can see, I just left mines in the middle. So it doesn't touch anything, so it doesn't grow all over everything. And it's been doing pretty fine so far. My cabbage leather coral right here. Well, it's right now, it's mostly closed up. And I've heard about it from lots of people, but like sometimes they just close up and then they like expand bigger than ever after a while. And it happened quite a few times with my cabbage. So basically, it looks like it closes up. And it looks like a really sad coral. And then you give it a few days and it opens up a lot. And I've also noticed it gets really shiny when it closes up like this. Normally my cabbage leather would be much more expanded and bigger. Also curious to know what you guys think of my aquascape. So I think it looks pretty good. I just think I could maybe add a few more rocks. I also had an arch in there, but since I didn't have any glue, kind of got knocked over by the snails. Snails are pretty destructive if you don't glue stuff down. And I had to wedge my stuff real good in there. Right, Duncan right here. I haven't been able to feed it though because of the shrimp. I want to try that one day though, so I don't know. Yeah. I say it's looking pretty good for starting up. There's also my algae scrubber, as you can see right here. You could see there's been a decent amount of algae growing in there. Maybe I'll turn it on so you can see what it looks like. I removed some recently actually, because It was growing quite a bit. Looked pretty nice. Some people called it gross though. Nice in my terms, because I know that that's removing all that stuff from my tank. That's what it kind of looks like when it's on, so like all the algae whipped up. I put in some filter floss to replace some cartridge that I had in there. And also, even though I don't want to show it right now, but I remember in my previous videos I said that I was going to add carbon and add something to the bottom. I almost spoiler alert. But I added carbon to the bottom just in case, you know, any of that random gunk in there or some chemical warfare goes on. So it's just basically a safety precaution. So yeah. Don't forget, new videos every Monday. Woohoo, more fishies.